We've taken a lot of time and focus on ensuring that we're evolving our offering for CTV publishers, both this year and moving into 2025 across a couple of different areas. So to start from a high level, over the last several years, the way in which consumers and audiences watch live content has significantly changed and undergone a transformation. It's moved from being a traditional linear space to much more streaming focus, and particularly around certain events like sports and news and to a latter extent awards type programs. We've seen a massive increase in streaming audiences consuming on those types of platforms. Now with that come a couple of different challenges. The first one being is ensuring that you have the scalability of your infrastructure to support non-scheduled and standardized ad breaks. So to break that down, what typically happens in programming which is viewed as live or just standardized programming, you tend to see a peak in viewership which rises throughout the day, peaking towards late evening, so 8 to 11 p.m. That means you have the ability to plan in advance what type of ads you want to be shown because you know where the largest audience is going to be. Within live events, and particularly on streaming, that presents a slightly different challenge because you see sudden ad hoc ad breaks, so for example around sporting events, for perhaps in like F1, and you have a sudden influx of ad requests coming through from partners in the ecosystem, and as a business we need to be able to support those enormous spikes in requests and pressure on our compute power to be able to deliver what's required at the right point in time. Secondarily, I think also a significant challenge which is presented by live at the moment is, and going into the slight weeds of ad tech, the protocols which exist around the signaling which is provided on the different types of content within the OpenRTB 2.6 protocol. So currently there is no differentiation between programming viewed as live or live content, and we believe that those two should be treated separately because they offer different types of value. So you can have some programming which is recorded and shown as live, which would be pre-recorded shows, or you can also have live events which have a fundamentally different ad break structure in that they can be shown at ad hoc times within the programming. So the example which I'd use there is something like a sporting event where you can cut to an ad break, and that can't necessarily be planned for as effectively as you would do on scheduled programming. What we are doing as a company is working with our industry partners, so for example the IAB Tech Lab, to change those protocols and suggest ways in which you can truly signal what the live programming is to be able to provide the best value and the best signal fidelity to downstream buyers of that inventory, and so that publishers can truly derive the value which they are deserved of for that inventory which they're showing on their streaming platforms. For 2025, for the sales side of the industry, I think there's a couple of different focus areas. So the first one is, at the moment, DSPs, when they are planning and looking to procure inventory on behalf of the advertisers they work for and work with, they are not perhaps in the best place to be able to cope with the surges in demand that you see from live events. So traditionally what you have is a fairly consistent planning cycle and ability to plan around segmented and structured ad breaks. With live events, those ad breaks can happen at ad hoc times. So for example, at Formula One events, you can go and see suddenly an ad break in a fairly random point in the programming schedule. DSPs have a challenge in terms of being able to manage the QPS levels while those programs are live. So that means the ability to ingest and take all the bid requests and slot requests which are coming through from publishers. So we want to be able to ensure that we are supporting them to be able to truly plan and then transact properly and provide value across the variety of ad breaks which exist in a longer period of time, because typically you see budgets front-weighted, and that means there might be opportunities which are missed out on later on in the ad breaks. I think that's probably the most critical point which we need to help address, work with our partners to help address across 2025. In terms of an industry level fix, which I think should be or would be vital to be implemented next year, so 2025, the first thing, and something which I've alluded to already, is the increase in fidelity of signals which are coming through in the OpenRTB 2.6 protocol. So ensuring that a publisher, when they are signaling what type of content is being run, they are able to signal correctly and then derive the right value from what that program is. So whether it's pre-recorded live and being watched as a program, or if it's actually a live event. And that also includes any shoulder programming which can sit either side of that live content. I think also, and this is I guess a more general perspective, it's ensuring that there's complete collaboration across the industry. So I think we need to come together and work as a group of different entities across this industry. So that's from ad tech companies to the sell side to the buy side, and most importantly, obviously, viewers, to ensure that we provide a valuable and continually improving service to enable them to consume the content wherever they want to and at whatever point of day.